I need to know, and I'm going to start with Jeff because he loves this stuff. Should we hold on to Jerami Grant? Yay or nay?
Definitely, because you have a guy, number one, who wanted to come to Detroit. He turned down a very similar offer in terms of money from the Denver Nuggets, a playoff team who many now with Aaron Gordon predict could make a run. So, yes, he wanted to come and help rebuild this organization, be the man, number one. And regardless of having one of the worst records in the league, this team is constantly developing. I mean, you see all the young players they have. You want Jerami Grant to be there when things go well. I mean, that's just my opinion. He had a breakout season last year, and what we've seen and I've read, he loves playing for Detroit. He loves the city. He loves the team. He loves playing for Dwayne Casey. And absolutely not, you don't trade him. Unless the words are coming from his mouth directly. Unless he tells Troy Weaver, listen, I want to go to a contending team. I want to be done with this. That's different. But just trading him, if teams are interested, of course they're interested. He's a talented player. You're going to get interest on a lot of these players. Do not trade him. Listen, because regardless, if we think, me and Adam disagree, go back and forth, is he a third option, whatever the case may be, he's still a valuable part of this team. We acquired him. He was really the first great player we got. Then came Sadiq, Isaiah Stewart, all these guys. It just all ended up working out. So I like Jerami Grant. You don't trade him. He's got loyalty to us, unless the words come directly out of his lips. Trade me out of here. No.
What are you looking to accomplish? We saw this with Blake and Derrick Rose. Last year, early on, they had so much ball usage. I know people love when I say that word, so that was intentional. But, how much of the ball is Jerami Grant going to command, right?
Right.
Because you have a Cade Cunningham, a Killian Hayes, even a Sadiq Bey to an extent. I am not sure yet how this is going to play out. I think Dwayne Casey is going to give the first 10, 15, 20 games to really get a feel for how this offense is going to run with these four guys who can all handle the rock essentially on the floor together. Jeremy's probably going to be a solid 4, Sadiq a 3, Cade a 2, and then, of course, Killian a 1. What do you do with Jerami Grant? Do you hold on to him? I think you do for now. I don't know if his trade value is enough to get you something, reasonable. But if you can get 2-3 first-round picks for him, which I doubt, I mean, you make that trade. And, you're developing as a team. Nobody's expecting the Pistons to be contenders this year. And Jerami Grant, long-term, if Killian Hayes works out and Sadiq Bey works out and Cade Cunningham becomes a star, he's kind of just a nice piece to have, but he's not essential.
Right.
So I'm curious to see how it plays out. How do you feel Jerami Grant fits into this team this year?
He's a player that can just fit. What is he, 6'9"? He can guard pretty much 3-4 positions. He's just so long. He's so long. Obviously, he's great on defense. He's a talented player. He's a guy that just fits. He doesn't command the ball. Obviously, he did last year because our team was absolutely awful and he was the best player. So, of course, he's going to command the ball. But on the Denver Nuggets, he didn't command the ball. He was pretty much a purely spot-up guy. The year prior, I'm not talking about his young days in OKC. Obviously, he developed as a player. But when he came to Detroit, his role arose. And then if we get better players, of course, his role is going to shrink. But my point is this. How do you continue to get better as a basketball team if you're trading away your good players? That's the problem I have. You could trade them away for a first-round pick or two, but then we're waiting for those guys to develop. I mean, you got a guy in Jerami Grant who's a 20-point scorer on a bad team.
Yeah, but do you want that? So, I believe I really believe Jerami Grant, at best, on a contending team, is a number 3 option.
Yep, you're right. Absolutely.
Right? So you have Cade. Ideally, he's your 1.
Mm-hmm.
Whether or not Sadiq or Killian are 2, I don't know yet. I don't have enough yet. I don't have enough from either of them. Both really still have to develop a lot. Well, then that puts Jerami Grant in the number 3 spot, given if you push Killian or Sadiq to 4. So I'm not sure how this fits long-term. That's really my question here with Detroit. Is he the long-term answer? Is he the answer for the next 2 years to, help the team learn how to win and really, take over late until Cade is ready? Sure. But I don't know how I feel about it.
It depends if he's okay.
I'm confident in. It's not something I'm confident in.
It depends if he's okay with that. Like you said, the third option on a contending team, whatever the case may be. If he's okay with that, listen, we're going to bring better players in here. You might need to take a step back. I don't have a problem with keeping him. I mean, the guy, for all I know, he can guard KD. He can guard a lot of guys, big, long guys in this league. Pause. But listen, that's why I like Jerami Grant. The guy, he fits well with any team he's a part of. You could drop him on any NBA team, and he'd fit in seamlessly.
He'd fit in because he's a role player. He's not a 1, right. He's not a 2, he's not a star, he's not an all-star. He'll put up 22 points a game on a bad team. Congratulations. I mean, I don't consider that an accomplishment, but
he could do 15 on a good team.
Yeah, I know. He does serve a role. He serves a purpose. but not in what you're trying to establish here in Detroit, which is you're trying to establish Cade. You're hoping Killian doesn't turn to be a bust, and you're hoping Saddiq Bey turns into one of those spot-up shooters, similar to a Klay Thompson, can play both ways, can give you 20, 25 points, and then on a hot night he gives you 30, 40. I mean, that's your best-case scenarios I just gave you. And I want to shift to Luca Garza. They're taking him off his two-way contract.
Love it.
I believe they're going to sign him to the team in full capacity. Your thoughts?
I think Luca Garza's special in this way is that obviously he won National Collegiate Player of the Year, and what he did at Iowa is just unheard of. I mean, the guy dominated all 4 years and went to the second round. So he's a guy in like Mac Jones, they're different sports, but he's the most ready to play. I mean, the guy comes in as a center, he drops 30 pounds. You saw him in summer league, he made an impact like that. Like that's the type of player Luca Garza is. He doesn't need time to develop. So that's why I didn't agree with the two-way contract, because I'm like, you could put him in the G League, but he's ready to play, man. And especially a team this year who they might make the play-in tournament. Why not? Get him good minutes, and I absolutely love this. Luca Garza, you can play that backup big role, and yeah, I absolutely love it.
We share a very similar stance on Luca Garza. Jeff, the NBA came out with a potential, change to midseason, where they have that midseason tournament, and players get, I believe, $1 million for the winning team. Are you a fan of this proposed new midseason tournament? I'll start. I'm a big pass, a huge no on it. You shouldn't do this. Mm-hmm. Whether it's financially more, you don't know yet. You don't know if the ratings are going to be the same, and if not, if they're going to be better. So if you're the NBA, should you try things? Yes, you should always try to revamp your product, but I don't know if this is the move. I'm not sure if the players are going to be on board. If you're a head coach, I'd rather just send my young players out in the tournament. I could care less about the money.
100%.
I'll rest my veterans, and we're just going to prepare for the NBA championship, because that's the most important thing in the NBA. So why would I risk playing in a midseason tournament, my guys logging heavy minutes just so they can make an extra $1 million a year if we win it? I don't like it at all.
And
I don't like it.
That's the logical way of thinking. If you're an NBA team, why? Like, you have your goal set on winning an NBA championship this year or whatever year you go in. You're not thinking about a tournament for money. I mean, and I get they're trying to revamp their product, but some things, this is my biggest pet peeve with some products or some. You can think of a lot of things in life that do this. They make too many changes to the point where it's going in a bad way. Some things are just left untouched. Once they're like, the NBA has gone through so many development phases and adding new ideas and adding the play-in tournament. You're fine. Leave it alone. You're good. You made enough changes. You don't need to add another tournament with money. Like, look at the NFL. I mean, I know the NFL is the NFL, but they know how to do business. They've been successful for a very long time, and they don't make. I mean, they just added a game. That's it. Added a game. Are they going to add a midseason tournament? Heck no. And I know they're two different sports. Football, there's more injuries, but it's just as a company, the NBA this is a bad idea. I don't know if the players like it. I haven't really read too much into it, but if I'm a coach or a player, like you said, you send the young guy. Why? If I'm a 10, 15 year vet, I'm not going to do no tournament, especially if I'm comfortable with my bank account after all the money I've made in my career. It just makes no sense at all.
Fair enough. I mean, I think we're on the same page with Luca Garza, with Jerami Grant, and with this whole NBA midseason tournament. I don't like it. I don't think you should change the game that much. It's a bit much. You've already had the play-in at the end of the season for the final 8 seed,
which I'm just getting used to. So I'm still getting used to that.
To add a midseason tournament, personally, I'll speak for myself. I am not going to be any more interested in watching the NBA if there's a midseason tournament or not. It's not going to make me turn on my television. It just isn't.
It's the players.
So that's it. That's all we have for that. I know there's a special topic coming up in a little bit that someone in the room may be offended by. Kennedy, why don't you tell us what's coming up next?
All right, coming up next, we're going to talk some college football, specifically my favorite team in the nation, Notre Dame. Don't fish. Unnecessary. All right. Well, we'll talk about it when we get back. It's going to be annoying. Whatever. But before we go, since we're talking college football, we have to talk high school football. So tell us about Friday nights, Adam.
All right. Tomorrow's a big night. Friday Night Clash brought to you by Woodward Sports, The Prep, and Planet Fitness. We are going to be broadcasting Chippewa Valley, the number 1 team in the state, versus Macomb, Dakota. It's at Macomb, Dakota. And we'll be doing a halftime kick to win $10,000. You must follow Woodward Sports on our social media to qualify. Why we're doing this? We're trying to highlight all the great high school students the athletes and the student sections. It's a great vibe. It'll be streaming on our platforms from starting at 9 p.m. And don't miss out. It'll be on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. We'll see you Friday. Chippewa Valley.